So here we are with Mr Azim, head of Team Azim itself. How are you doing, sir?
Yes, good. How are you?
Fantastic. We're meeting you today on a very happy day. This is your son's Hassans' 20th birthday. You know, how does it feel?
Yeah, it's finally a man now, only 20 years old. It's not his birthday today. It's on the 27th, but obviously it falls on the weekend, and we're not training today. So on the 27th, he probably train on his birthday. So obviously we've got another few more weeks left, so we're not gonna just relax. So yeah, so.
And this is for Hassan's pro debut on the 11th of November.
Yeah.
Fantastic, and we can catch that on ESPN Plus.
Yeah, ESPN Plus, Top Rank, IFL TV.
IFL TV.
Yeah.
Perfect, and we can stream that as well directly online from our IFL's own website. And in terms of Hassan, how is this now preparation going up? There's only a couple of weeks out now.
Yeah, it's been really good. Last few weeks, it's been the sparring. We've got the right types of sparring in. Obviously we've seen his opponent. We know what tactics to use. It's all learning for me as well, because this is my first time in coaching as a pro. So yeah, I mean, his strength and conditioning is to where we want. His sharpness is where we want. His stamina's obviously doing a 6-rounder now. Whereas before, he was just training for 3-rounders, and then. Most fighters normally go in the pro debuts on their 4-rounder, but for Hassan he's going in for a 6-rounder, so that's going to be a big challenge for us. And we've brought his stamina levels up to be able to
match accordingly, to prepare him for the full 6 rounds.
That's right, yeah. So he's in the right place. His mental state is right, his mindset is right. He knows what to do. The only thing is around having a fight behind closed doors, no atmosphere. He's always used to having big crowds.
Of course, and there's a bubble situation as well that's happening as well. So that's going to be tricky, I would imagine. And the other thing I was going to ask is, now with the bubble, is it confirmed in terms of how long Hassan will have to quarantine?
Yeah, so he will go in the bubble on the 4th. When he's in the bubble, he'll obviously do the testing, and everyone will be tested. Myself, the team members, all the people that are involved in the team, including Hassan as well. And then he'll stay in the bubble for 3 days, and then he fights on the 11th of November. Again, this is new to us, so all these things about
ordinarily you wouldn't have to think about things like that, right? And then, of course, after the fight, I'm sure there's Adam as well coming up on the way. You were talking about him having his professional license, so he was applying for the pro license.
So we had a letter come through today for his interview, by the way. So it's a good news that
with the board, I would imagine.
That's right, yeah. So hopefully the interview is next 2nd of November, and then hopefully he'll make his debut in December.
So before the end of the year.
That's right, yeah.
Pretty much. So we're very excited for that as well, of course. And in terms of, just wanted to also ask, we asked Hassan the same question, what did you make of the whole Vasyl Lomachenko versus Teofimo Lopez fight recently? I'm sure you must have watched
that. There was mixed opinions amongst our entourage, our team, some believe that Teofimo Lopez is going to win, some believe Lomachenko would win. But I think if you look at the fight itself, when I saw the fight, I thought Lomachenko lost. When I looked at it the second time around, obviously taking opinions of everyone else, it was a closer fight. When you look at it the second time around, but then for the first 4 to 6 rounds, Lomachenko was on the back foot. Lopez at the centre of the ring. He looked the bigger guy. He's a natural lightweight. Lomachenko's come up a few weights and he's done well. He's obviously unified the division. He's got the belt. So it just surprising the tactics that Lomachenko used in that fight.
Do you think he should have acted quicker or sooner?
Well, if you look at it after 6 rounds, he started to do what he normally does. So, he would be in your face, he'd be, countering, he'd be defending, countering, but he started that after 6 rounds. And he won those 4 rounds.
Great success in the rounds where he applied the pressure.
Yeah, so it's just unusual. Maybe he respected Teofimo's power,
sharpness, and the accuracy.
Yeah, so maybe that was in the back of his mind. But again, this is Lomachenko. He's fought the biggest punches, in the divisions. He's fought people that, obviously they're known for punching. So
he's dealt with the speed before with Gary Russell Jr. etc.
Yeah. So it's for me it was very surprising. The tactics he used. Maybe you will look back at that fight and we'll say that if I could have done what I did in the 6th round from first round onwards.
So you think he'd be quite keen for a rematch, whereas maybe Lopez has other plans?
But I don't think Lopez has got the belts. He may go. He's talking now going up a division and unifying the super lightweight division.
So he's pretty much in control now of his own.
And he's got the body to do that. He can go up another weight. So
yes, and potentially he was talking about Josh Kelly. So that could be quite an interesting.
But he's got some really good fights at the lightweight. He's got Juwonta Davis, he's got Devin Haney, Ryan Garcia, Luke Campbell. He's got options. There's there, so it is for me. It's the most exciting division out of all the divisions. It's the money division. It's got fighters that are under 25 years old, so there's longevity in terms of.
There's a lot of glamour in that division.
And hopefully Adam's going to enter that division pretty soon as well.
Because I know Adam's been already calling people out, so I can only imagine once he's fully a professional, he's not going to let up easily.
That's right, yeah.
I'm sure. And also, just last before we let you go, just wanted to ask your sort of thoughts about the upcoming fight with Spence Jr. and Danny Garcia. Can you give us a bit of a prediction of this, which way you would lean?
Well, if you look at the credentials, Errol Spence has got that credentials, but really, you may have asked me that question: is where do you think Errol Spence's mindset going to be? He's obviously been through a lot. He's obviously had a car accident. He's had, every fight in the planet has to, overcome the COVID corona situation. So he's got not just that, but also been off car accident, the corona situation. So for me, that is a mental battle for himself. Is he damaged good? Has the accident caused damage to himself? So, there's a lot of questions will be answered in that fight. Win-lose thing. Okay.
So the boxing fans are who are going to win because they're going to get treated to a really good fight, though.
But if you look at the credentials, Errol Spence, clear winner. Danny Garcia is, for me, he's plateaued now. He's reached his peak a couple of fights back. Errol Spence, for me, is going to win the fight easily. But again, like I said, there'll be a lot of.
You have a lot of questions answered.
Questions will be answered in that fight.
Fantastic. Well, we'll tune in on the 11th of November for Hassan's professional debut, and we wish you all the best of luck as always. But I'm sure you won't need it. Well, thank you very much, Team Azim, Mr Azim. Thank you.